Here's what solar panel companies are not telling you. The average American homeowner is getting sold a dream: cheap electricity, energy independence, saving the planet. And they're signing a contract worth $25,000 or more based on that dream. And then reality hits. The payback period is longer than they said. The savings are smaller than the brochure promised. And in some cases, the homeowner is actually worse off than before they installed the panels. So before you sign anything, before you let that salesperson sit down at your kitchen table, you need to watch this. I want to be clear about something before we go any further. This is not a video saying solar panels are a scam. They're not. For some homeowners, in some states, in some specific situations, solar is genuinely one of the best financial decisions you can make. But here's the problem. The solar industry has a massive sales machine behind it, and that machine is very good at making solar sound like a no-brainer for everyone, and it's not. There are millions of American homeowners right now who either installed solar and are disappointed, or who are about to install solar without knowing the full picture. This video is for those people. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly who solar works for, who it doesn't work for, and the 7 things the salesperson is hoping you never ask about. Let's get into it. Let's start with the big number. A typical residential solar system in the United States right now costs somewhere between $25,000 and $35,000 installed. That's before you add a battery, before any roof repairs, before any electrical panel upgrades. Just the panels, the inverter, the labor, and the permits. Now, for years, there was a federal tax credit that gave you 30% of that cost back. So on a $25,000 system, the government was handing you $7,500. That credit is gone. It expired on December 31st, 2025. And that changes the math for a lot of people in a pretty significant way. Without that credit, a system that would have cost you $17,500 after the rebate now costs you the full $25,000. The payback period, meaning the amount of time before the panels actually start saving you money net of what you paid, stretches from around 9 years to closer to 12 or 13 years. 12 to 13 years, just to break even. Now think about that. Are you going to be in your current home for the next 12 years? Are you sure about that? Because if you move in year 8, you didn't win. You lost. That's the first thing nobody is putting front and center in the sales pitch. Let's go through this piece by piece because there are several layers here and they all matter. When a solar company quotes you a price, that price usually covers the panels, the inverter, the mounting hardware, the wiring, the labor, and the permits. That sounds complete. And it kind of is for the base installation. But there are costs that come up before or after that quote that can add thousands of dollars to your total. First, your roof. If your roof is older than 10 years, there's a real chance the solar company will tell you it needs to be repaired, or in some cases fully replaced, before they install the panels. That's not them being difficult. Panels are heavy, they last 25 years, and they're bolted into your roof. A weak or aging roof under solar panels is a problem waiting to happen. A roof repair can add $1,000 to $5,000 to your project. A full roof replacement before solar, you're looking at $10,000 to $20,000 on top of the system cost. And here's the thing about that. If you install solar on a roof that needs to be replaced in 5 years, guess what happens? They have to take the panels off, replace the roof, and put the panels back on. That removal and reinstallation costs money too. Nobody budgets for that. Second, your electrical panel. Older homes, and we're talking anything built before the 1990s, often have electrical panels that aren't rated for a solar connection. If that's your house, you might need a panel upgrade before the solar system can even be turned on. That's another $1,000 to $3,000. Third, and this one gets people, the inverter. Here's something that should be on the first slide of every solar sales presentation, but somehow never is. Your panels will last 25 years. Your inverter will not. String inverters, the most common type, have a lifespan of 10 to 15 years. The warranty on them is usually 10 to 12 years. So sometime around year 12 or 13 of owning your system, you're going to need to replace the inverter. That costs between $1,000 and $2,500 for parts alone, not counting labor. Nobody is putting that number in the 25-year savings calculation they're showing you on that iPad. Fourth, insurance. Your homeowner's insurance covers the panels because they're attached to the house, but you need to call your insurer and increase your dwelling coverage by the full installed cost of the system. For a $25,000 to $35,000 installation, expect your insurance premium to go up somewhere between $120 and $300 per year. Over 25 years, that's up to $7,500 in extra premiums. Not huge, but it's real money that isn't in the brochure. Most people don't pay cash for solar, and that's understandable. It's a lot of money. So they finance it either through a solar loan or through a lease or PPA arrangement. Here's where it gets dangerous. Solar loans often have what's called a dealer fee built in. the installer gets paid a fee by the financing company, and that fee, which can be 15% to 30% of the loan amount, gets rolled directly into your loan balance without being obvious on your quote. On a $25,000 system, a 25% dealer fee adds $6,250 to your loan before interest even starts. You're now borrowing $31,250 to install a $25,000 system, and then the interest starts at 10% interest over 15 years, which is not unusual for unsecured solar loans. You are paying close to double the original amount over the life of the loan, double for a solar system. Your electricity savings better be significant and consistent if you want that math to work in your favor. This is the one that really changed the game, and most homeowners don't even know what net metering is. Here's the simple version. Your solar panels produce the most electricity in the middle of the day when the sun is up. But that's also when most people are at work and nobody's home using electricity. So your panels are producing power that your house doesn't need. What happens to that extra power? It goes back to the grid. And under a system called net metering, the utility company gives you a credit on your bill for every kilowatt hour you send them, at the same rate you'd pay to buy electricity. That credit is what makes solar math work. During the day, your panels push power out. At night, you pull power back. The credits and the usage roughly cancel each other out, and you end up with a very small bill or no bill at all. The problem? States are cutting net metering. California already did it. They moved to a system called NEM 3.0, which pays you much less for the power you send back to the grid than you pay to take power from the grid. If you're in California and you installed solar in the last couple of years under the new rules, your payback period is significantly longer than it would have been 5 years ago, and California isn't alone. In 2025 and 2026, states across the country have been weakening net metering policies, adding fixed monthly grid connection fees, specifically targeting solar homeowners, and shortening the time windows that lock in favorable rates. In Virginia, the dominant utility company petitioned to cut the net metering credit by nearly half. If that goes through, it would roughly double the payback period for solar installations in that state. Texas? Net metering is entirely at the discretion of individual electric providers, and favorable solar buyback plans are becoming harder to find as midday wholesale electricity prices fall. Here's the brutal truth about this. When you go to a solar sales meeting, the salesperson is going to show you a 25-year projection of your savings. That projection almost certainly assumes the current net metering rate stays the same for all 25 years. It won't. And there's nothing in the contract that protects you if the rate changes. This one surprises a lot of people. You get solar panels installed. There's a massive storm. The power goes out in your neighborhood. You're sitting there thinking, well, I've got solar panels on my roof. I'll be fine. You won't be fine. Standard grid-tied solar systems are required by law to shut down when the grid goes down. It's a safety thing. If your panels kept feeding electricity into the lines during an outage, the utility workers fixing those lines could get electrocuted. So your panels see the grid go down and they shut themselves off. Your house goes dark, just like everyone else's. The only way around this is to add battery storage. A battery system. Something like a Tesla Powerwall. Lets your house run on stored solar power during an outage in a way that's safe and separate from the grid. But a battery adds $9,000 to $15,000 to your total project cost. So the $25,000 system is now $40,000. And that 12-year payback period just got longer. About 40 million American homes are part of a homeowners association. That's a massive number. And if you're in one of those communities, solar is not as simple as picking up the phone and calling an installer. HOAs can require you to submit an approval application before installation. They can require that panels be placed in specific locations, like the back of the roof, even if that placement reduces how much sunlight the panels get, which directly affects how much electricity they produce and how much money you save. In some states, HOA restrictions on solar are limited by law. The HOA can't flat out block you, but they can slow you down, add requirements, and create enough friction that the project becomes more complicated and expensive than you planned. And in states without strong solar access laws, an HOA can put up serious roadblocks. If you're in an HOA and you're thinking about solar, find out your state's rules and your HOA's specific policies before you do anything else. So here's the real picture, put together. The federal tax credit is gone. Net metering is being cut in state after state. A typical system now costs $25,000 to $35,000 with a payback period of 10 to 13 years. Add a battery, and you're at $40,000 or more. If you finance it, you might pay close to double by the end of the loan. If your roof needs work first, add another $5,000 to $20,000. Your inverter will need replacing midlife. Your insurance will go up. And if the grid goes down, your panels shut off unless you spent extra on a battery. That's the full picture, now. And this is important. None of this means solar is automatically a bad idea. It means the decision is far more specific to your situation than the sales pitch makes it sound. Here's when solar genuinely makes sense. You own your home and plan to stay there for at least 12 to 15 years. Your electricity bill is already high. We're talking $150 a month or more, ideally more. You live in a state with strong net metering and decent sun. Your roof is in good shape and has the right orientation. you're paying cash, or getting a loan with a genuinely low interest rate. And you're in a state like New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, Florida, or Maryland, where the incentive programs and the policy environment still make the math work. In those situations, solar can be one of the smartest financial moves you make. Some homeowners in high-rate states genuinely save $40,000, $60,000, even more over 25 years. But here's when solar is probably not the right move right now. Your roof is old. You're planning to move in the next 5 to 10 years. You're in a state that's been cutting net metering. You need to finance it at a high interest rate. You live in a low electricity cost state like Washington, Oregon, or Louisiana, where the savings just aren't big enough to justify the investment. Or you're in an HOA that's going to fight you on placement in a way that hurts the system's performance. For those homeowners, the salesperson who shows up at your door and tells you solar is a no-brainer is not lying to you on purpose. They genuinely believe in the product. But they're also working on commission, and they're showing you the best case version of the numbers, not the version that includes the dealer fee, the inverter replacement, the insurance increase, and the possibility that your state cuts net metering in year 5. Let's bring it back to the title of this video, the real reason solar panels aren't worth it for most homeowners. It's not that the technology is bad. It's not that the concept doesn't work. The real reason is that solar has been sold so aggressively, with so much marketing money behind it, that millions of homeowners have been pushed to make a $25,000 to $40,000 decision without knowing all the information. The federal credit that made the math forgiving is gone. The net metering systems that made the savings real are being cut. The financing deals that seemed manageable often have hidden fees baked in. And the salesperson who tells you this is a no-brainer isn't going to be around in year 12 when you need to replace your inverter. None of that means you shouldn't consider solar. It means you should consider it with your eyes fully open. Get multiple quotes, at least 3. Ask specifically about dealer fees and the financing. Ask what the assumed net metering rate is in the 25-year savings projection and what happens to that number if your state changes its policy. Ask how old your roof is and whether it needs any work before installation. Ask about the inverter warranty, what kind of inverter they're installing, and who pays for the replacement when it's needed. If a salesperson can't answer those questions clearly and honestly, walk away. The right solar installation, done at the right time for the right home, is still a genuinely good investment. But it has to be your specific situation that makes it good, not a generic sales pitch that was designed to sound good for everyone. If this helped you, subscribe so you don't miss the next one.